Do you know who owns the resources of a Muslim country according to Islamic law? The answer may come as a surprise. It's not the king or ruler, nor the president or some royal family. According to Sharia, that wealth belongs to you, Muslim men and women. This is a fact most scholars won't talk about. Concepts like public ownership or the legal structure of a country's finances, according to Islamic principles, are almost never taught to Muslims. In the past, especially during the early centuries of Islam, it was second nature for Muslims to understand that public wealth belonged to the Ummah or Islamic community and not to the ruler. This wasn't just theoretical, it was part of the lived political and religious consciousness. Today, that consciousness has been erased through authoritarian regimes, corrupted religious institutions, and colonial-imposed state systems. The founder of political science in the Islamic world is Ali Muhammad Habib, better known as al-Mawardi. Born in 972 CE, he was the first Muslim scholar to systematically compile the principles of Islamic public law in his influential work, Al-Ahkam al-Sultaniyya, the Ordinances of Government. In this book, he recounts a pivotal moment in Islamic history. When the Muslims conquered Iraq under the leadership of Caliph Umar al-Khattab, a major question arose. Should the newly acquired lands be distributed among the soldiers as spoils of war? Because it was the custom previously. This was the expectations of many Muslims at the time. But the Caliph made a bold and unprecedented decision. He said no. He ruled that this land, with all its wealth, must remain under public ownership. Why? Because he thought beyond the present moment. He said, if I distribute it today, what will remain for those who come after us? He ensured that the land's resources would serve all Muslim, not just one generation, but the entire Ummah for all time. This was Sharia-based public policy at its finest. Where did Umar get this principle? From the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, himself. The Prophet said, the people are partners in three things: water, pasture, and fire. Water and pasture are fairly straightforward, but fire may seem less obvious. In pre-modern societies, fire depended on access to fuel sources like wood, dried dung, or charcoal. If forests or kindling were controlled by a landowner, tribe, or ruler, ordinary people could be denied the ability to cook, stay warm, or survive. That's why the three resources mentioned by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, represent essential public goods. And by extension, this includes oil, gas, minerals, forests, and the natural wealth of a country, all of which should not be monopolized by the state or elites. So these are not royal assets, they are communal trusts, amana, given by Allah to benefit the people collectively. Although the principles of wealth distribution were established by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, it was Caliph Umar al-Khattab who, in response to the rapid expansion of the Muslim Empire, formally institutionalized these practices by establishing the Bayt al-Mal, the public treasury. This wasn't a piggy bank for royal families. It was a system rooted in the Quran and Sunnah to manage public wealth responsibly. Revenues from land, resources and taxes went into the Bayt al-Mal and were used for the orphans, the poor, the widows, infrastructure, education, public health, and the defense of the community. The point wasn't profit, it was service, justice, equity. Al-Mawardi also writes in the chapter of public finances, the wealth of the state is not the ruler's private wealth, but is held in trust for the Ummah, and if a ruler violates that trust, Islam is not silent. Even Ibn Taymiyyah, a scholar often quoted by preachers today, made this point crystal clear. In his Al-Siyasa al-Sharia, he wrote, the ruler is a servant of the Ummah. If he misuses the public's wealth, he is like a thief who betrays the trust. In Islam, leadership is not privilege, it is accountability. The ruler is not above the law. He is beneath the weight of responsibility. He answers to the people and ultimately to Allah. To grasp just how deeply colonized the Muslim mind has become, consider this. In May 2025, Saudi Arabia pledged a staggering $600 billion in investment commitments with the United States, including $90 billion in deals signed by Aramco alone with American corporations. While this is being hailed as a diplomatic triumph, it comes at a disturbing time. Because right now, as Gaza starves under an Israeli siege, as children die from dehydration and malnutrition, The rulers of the richest Muslim nation are signing massive investment deals with the very power shielding Israel. Billions in oil wealth are being funneled into foreign banks, luxury estates and private jets. And the Muslim community suffers in silence and in betrayal. But Islam doesn't say that. Islam says the rulers owe you. You are the Ummah, honored by Allah, entrusted with dignity, not dependency. Muslims have been conditioned by preachers today to think their basic rights are royal favors, but according to Islamic law, the wealth of a nation is not a gift from the palace. It is a God-given right of the people. The rulers are not the owners. They are custodians, nothing more, entrusted by Allah to serve, not to hoard. At the very least, every Muslim today has a duty to carry this truth in their consciousness.